I would say there are two areas where there's a lot of energy, especially in the middle. You know, we're recording this not just in a beautiful setting, but also in the middle of the Upfront New Front season for 18-19, and two areas that have been, I'd say, need a little more grease on the wheels would be OpenAP, and then what we politely call Next Nielsen, and Next Nielsen could involve Nielsen, obviously. But sort of what's next beyond age and demo. So on OpenAP, it's exciting to see the sexy logos of the all-star sellers and broadcasters who've been participating. What we're hearing from buyers and even a couple of the sellers is that there hasn't been a lot of momentum in transaction as folks would have hoped in this season. So, meaning that the data and uniqueness, like Chris Geraci, who was on your great stage, my old boss from 24 years ago. There's some usage there, but the real upside of being able to have proprietary data sets that you keep as a buyer or seller, but be able to dip into this great pool and leverage these standards that have been worked on for a while, hasn't fully been realized yet. And so I think there's a lot of energy and excitement about trying to do that more while the legacy television and new advanced television buyers and sellers sink their teeth into this marketplace.
So what's the problem with OpenAP? Where does the chain not work, so to speak?
So we've had 4 meetings in 90 minutes before this taping here midday on Monday, Cannes time, where we've talked to 3 buyers and 1 tech company that want to participate more and say, I don't know how to hook into that. I don't see a lot out of it. Outside of the announcements, and wonderful that Linda and the NBC team have joined, but there doesn't seem to be as much liquidity from what we're hearing, and we've heard a couple of other seller names that should be joining probably in the next couple of months, and that's all great. But not as much transactional put to use on a campaign by campaign, brand by brand basis yet. We think we're sort of at that start of the hockey stick, and hopefully by next year this will become just the way everyone does business in advanced television, and we hope to be helping with a couple of our buyer clients and then 1 or 2 sellers, maybe we'll see.
And just tell us a little bit about your consultancy. You guys have been growing, you're expanding your practice. Give us a little snapshot.
We have, fortunately. We signed our 260th client last week in our 230th week of business. Only about 75% of our business now is in the US. Fortunately, 25% is rest of the world. We're hoping to have Europe be a good 20 to 30% of that by next year. APAC is building out nicely. We're doing some training in Sydney and Singapore in August. So fortunately, the realization of having an independent practice with no conflict and only paid on one side of the transaction, but having our publisher practice that's about 1/3 of the business now, tech is 1/3, the buy side of brands and agencies is about 20%, and then the rest come from investors and trade groups. So fortunately, that idea of kind of helping everyone move forward under the prism of client first, and if we're there to receive some thanks and compensation, great, has been paying off. So fortunately, just it's cliche, it sounds like a baseball coach, but 1 client, 1 teammate at a time, and able to grow with our group of 10 full-time, 70 part-time around the world.
Awesome. And finally, a little, it's a day 1, but I was wondering if you have any thoughts. We've been speaking about about GDPR, about how it's sort of softening the programmatic marketplace in different ways?
Temporarily, for sure, because a lot of people still think of programmatic in a traditional display and mobile world as open auction, which is certainly not the case. So fortunately, what we're seeing is a strong move to PMPs in quote-unquote digital, a strong move to deterministic versus probabilistic data strategy. And so this is, as we were saying for about a year, classic short-term pain for sure with a lot of organizations, but long-term upside. I mean, the hypothesis we've had for 3 years of moving towards a fully deterministic opt-in world where everyone knows what the score is. Yeah, there's a lot of education, obviously, with consumers happening right now, and a lot of clients, tech especially, pivoting their business. But the upside of being in a world where everyone knows how to appropriately target better and with confidence and with first-party data assets for buyers and sellers means we're going to have a much more robust and healthier and ultimately more efficient marketplace for everybody.